Testing, 1 2 3. All right. I'm not really sure how to start this video, so I guess I'm just gonna get into it. It's gonna feel a bit random, and it's gonna like I'm a content creator, so I make like entertainment videos and stuff. So this is gonna feel like a bit to the side. That's why I'm gonna put it on my personal channel. So yeah, I'm gonna just get into it. From the day you're born, from the first day you're born, the world constantly tries to tell you what to be. From like literally from the day, like when you're a kid and you do something, someone says no, stop. This is how you be a good boy, or this is how you be a good student. This is how you be a good brother. This is how you be a role model class president, or a good uncle, this is how to be a good father. There is always influence on telling you who, what, and how to be something. And growing up, I spent a lot of time by myself. Like I was a single child until the age of 12. I was my parents weren't around. I grew up with my grandmother, and my grandmother worked a lot. Like she worked like crazy. So I spent a lot of time by myself. So I had to develop my mind. And I think this is what the overall purpose of this video is to try to help you understand how to work with your brain and your consciousness. Because, all right, there are billions of biological creatures on this planet, and a lot of those creatures have different species, right? If you look at the spider, which is why I put that as the fucking thumbnail, the spider has 50,000 different species. There are some spiders that have venom, some that don't. Some spiders that throw that produce web, some that don't. Some spiders have longer limbs than others. Some have thinner bodies. It's insane. But when it comes to humans, we only have one species. Well, we're primates, they're monkeys, etc. But when it comes to like the bipedal human form, there's only one. There's only one kind of human. So the only thing that differentiates us is our consciousness and the way we work with the mind. I developed a way to work with my mind by being alone for unhealthy amounts of times. For like I would wish someone would have had this conversation with me instead of just letting me raw dog the world. But I feel like this is why I need to make this video. So I'm gonna go over your consciousness with you. All humans have the same base of consciousness. We all feel the same thing. We all undergo the same processes, even though we don't go through the same experiences. So it took me some time to like really figure out what the peak and the base, or what the peak and the peak and the base of your consciousness is. So I'm gonna go through that with you. It's gonna be a really hefty video. That's why I said this is gonna be a very different vibe from I'm not even sure I'm gonna edit this. I'm just gonna put it out there. I'm maybe gonna break it down in YouTube, so you could like see what parts, what topics are in which parts. So, the first part, or the base of human consciousness, which will involve in deterioration, is shame. As a human, when you feel shame, you seek to destroy your current state of consciousness. If you're ashamed about something, you don't want to be that anymore. If you're something that you're ashamed of, you won't want to be that. That's logical. What induces shame is guilt. When you are guilty, it is because you have, in some way, shape, or form, afflicted your environment or afflicted yourself. This affliction is what will invoke the feeling of shame because you are not proud of what you have done. These are one of the first feelings you feel as a kid. You pour water on the table. Mom says no, bad. You're ashamed. Now you wish you didn't do that because now you want to change it. You want to be someone that doesn't pour water on the table. The feeling of guilt is invoked by fear. Now, a lot of people think that fear is the peak. Nah, shame is the worst thing you can ever feel. Fear comes and goes. You could be, as a human, we're afraid of everything. As a human, we could be afraid of every fucking thing. But fear is invoked by desire. When we want something, it's crazy, but we equally fear it. When we want something, we fear it or we fear having it. That's why you may want something like bad, bro. But even when the opportunity presents itself to take the shot, you might not do it. That's just the way it is. Because the fear is that once you do it, that action might evolve into guilt or judgment, and then you're basically afraid that once you do the action, it won't be what you think it's gonna be. When you're a child and you pour the water on the table, you wanted to do it, you did it, but mom said no. You're afraid that if you do what you want to do, someone will look at you and say no. I'm not gonna say whether to do or not because I don't know who is watching this video, but above fear is desire. You want something. Above desire is anger. It really sucks that we work this way. Well, that's what I think. That's how I think we work. Is when you want something as a human, most often it's because something else made you angry, right? Or you didn't like something. If I keep giving examples because that's the only way I can explain it. If someone hits your car, you're mad, bro. Now you don't have a car. So your desire is for a new car. It's pretty AB. So these themes I've just gone over, which was like fear, grief. I didn't go over grief. I'll maybe go. I'm gonna. Bro, this is gonna be a crazy series. I'm gonna go through every fucking thing. No, don't worry. And right now it's just like it's kind of messy, but don't worry about it. We're gonna go through everything. As you stick around, we'll break down everything. So these themes I just went over, which was like shame, fear, desire, anger. These are emotions that appear in the lower state of consciousness. When you feel these things powerfully, it deteriorates the conscious mind. It narrows it down. You can't think when you're angry. You can't think when you're ashamed of yourself. You can't think in a positive manner. You can't, and I'm saying I'm saying this because I'm a creative, right? As a creative, when I'm in this state of mind, I cannot create. It doesn't matter how hard I try. It doesn't matter how hard I work. And this doesn't only apply to creatives. This applies to anything anything in the world. You ever tried cooking when you're angry? The food tastes like shit. You ever tried going to a party when you're angry, the vibe of the party is not gonna be a vibe. Like, these emotions are in the lower state of consciousness, so you need to be aware when you're in this state. That doesn't mean wanting something is bad. That doesn't mean that being angry is bad. But you must understand that in a lower state of consciousness, you cannot change whatever is happening in that phase. If you're angry about something, you will not fix it by being angry. If you want something deeply, you will not get it by wanting it. If you're ashamed of yourself, being more ashamed is not going to take the shame away. So now we move up into another level of consciousness. This is a phase I kind of call neutrality. This is the state of what is. Now, before we just went over anger. Before anger, there is a state of neutrality. That's when things just are. That's when, as a human, you see, you take into account, that just is. Right now, there is a bottle here. There is a mic. I am recording. Golf clubs. This is a state of neutrality. Nothing is good. Nothing is bad. Nothing is happening other than just time passing. That is the state of neutrality. What induces this state of neutrality is acceptance. Acceptance comes from reason and logic. As a human, when you experience things, you take into account and learn. I think that's what makes humans we learn sometimes multiple times, but not always do we reach a state of acceptance or a state of neutrality. I am in a state of neutrality right now because I see the water bottle here. The reason I see and I am willing to accept that the water bottle is here is because logically I went to the kitchen and brought it here. It is a fact. It's logic. It's logical. So this state is where most humans live. The reason I am making this video, this state, which is called I call it the neutral state, which is the state of like facts and human, which is the physical world, right? Reason, logic, facts, not facts, right? Most of my life, I have seen people live in a state of neutrality. I feel like the reason I want to make this video now is because as I'm growing, I'm in my 20s, I'm seeing people go down into a subconscious state, like the lower level of, and I don't want that for people. It's a dark fucking place. It exponentially grows. The more shame and the more fear, the more desire, the more hunger for power, all that shit. There is never enough of it. There is never enough. And if as a person, and with the internet and the way things are going now, it's exponentially growing, and it's infinite. There's an infinite amount of self degradation in the world. I've seen people go from a state of neutrality and living in a reasonable world where logic and sense decides what is, right? So that was the second state. First state was the lower end. Mid state was the physical end of consciousness, and now we go into the higher sense of consciousness. This, I find, is where you find a lot of like spirituality, manifestation, and positive emotions. This is where you find love. Love is not reasonable. When you love someone, it's not reasonable. When you love someone, it's because for the physical part, they have done things that you liked. But for the non-physical part, you love them in hopes that they will continue to do things you like. So when you give yourself to somebody, or you allow someone to give themselves to you, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't. But we still do it because it is part of our consciousness. We do it because we can. That is why we imagine shit. That is why kids draw shit they've never seen. Children have the highest percentage of heightened consciousness above all humans. This is a fact. A child's imagination constantly brings into the reasonable and logical world what was never there. And that is I don't know. That is just what I've seen. So what induces love is joy, right? You are a human. You don't have to be a human. We love water. Why? We're thirsty. We drink water. We're happy. We're not thirsty anymore. That's why everyone loves water. We love food. Why? We're hungry. We're angry that we're hungry. Quick fix. We eat. Oh my God, I'm no longer hungry. Same thing goes for drugs. Same thing goes for drinking. Same thing goes for activities. Same thing goes for video game. Anything that fixes a problem to a human is something that a human, to some extent, if not loves, likes. What induces joy and happiness is freedom. This is the peak of consciousness. Not consciousness. Freedom to us has been materialized because we only see freedom as the context of slavery. We only see freedom in the context of the physical realm, in the sense of logic and reason. But freedom begins in the mind, in the pineal. Like, I'm not gonna get into that, but freedom begins in the mind. And this shit sounds like shit people have said a million times, but this is why. You need a sense of enlightened freedom that isn't physical to be able to bring that into the physical world. When you love someone, it is because they had the free will to do something that they were not sure was gonna work out in your favor, and it did work out. That is why you love them. If I love you, you tell me you like fruit. I don't know what fruit you like, but in my mind, I am free to think of things you might like, and one day I bring you an orange. You say you don't like oranges. Fine. I think again. I allow my brain to access information that I have experienced that isn't there is no fruit around me, but I am free to think of it, and I bring that idea from a realm that isn't physical into the physical world for you. That is what love is. It's fucking tough, bro. It's fucking tough talking about this shit, bro. I don't know. It's tough. It's fucking tough talking about this shit. Like, it's difficult because it's very different than the culture we're currently living in. The culture we're living in is a very materialistic one, and if not materialistic, senseless. When I talk about this shit, like you know, I'm not even worried. I'm not worried about the people that will make fun of me. I'm not worried of the people that will portray their insecurities onto me. I'm mostly worried about the people who need it but can't listen because of the culture that they're in. Like it's tough. It's fucking tough. But anyways, in this state, bruh, in this state of joy, in this state of love, in this state of freedom, this is where art comes from. This is where art comes from. This is where people sit in a room, have nothing to do, they start writing music, they start playing with drums, they start bringing things from within into the physical realm. And in this state is peak creativity. Bottom, no creativity. Peak creativity. But something that is really crazy that I've noticed is that the further down you go, the more physical it gets. That's why someone at the bottom that is angry, that is aggravated, that is ashamed, they are more likely to act irrationally. Meaning they're more likely to lash out. That's why we got so many fucking crash outs, bro. Right now, that's why we're seeing so many people crash out like that's why this is happening. But in a state of enlightenment, you're more likely to be reserved, composed, because you are spending more time in a universe that is untapped, as opposed to trying to exponentially tap into the physical world. Like that is the essence of human consciousness. That being said, I hope to do more videos like this, because I just feel like niggas need it, bro. I just feel like people need it. It's tough. I don't know how else to say it, nigga. It's tough, bro. It's tough. It is, bro. Being human is not easy. Being a human is not easy. Being a human is tough. It's very tough. And I just need you to understand that your consciousness shouldn't prevent you from chasing your desires. Because as a human, you still live in the physical realm. Like you still live within the spectrum of logic and reason, right? It should, like, I'm chasing creativity. I'm chasing the world of creativity. Shit, I want diamonds. Well, not diamonds, more like I want shiny shit. I want the car, I want the mansion, I want to not be hungry, I want to live life, I want to drink, I want to smoke, I want to get lit. But deep down, I don't give a fuck about none of this shit, bro. Deep down, I am already free. And I am so blessed to have been able to be free my entire life. A lot of people are not like that, bro. A lot of people, bro. And it's tough. And I'm saying this from experience, because I come from a place where people have nothing, materialistic wise. I know we can get technical and shit, but like where I come from, people don't have nothing, don't have much. I grew up in Ghana, and then I got moved to Europe. I moved to France, where then I got moved into the trenches. Trenches. I got moved into is this suburb? Not suburb. Like urban areas. I got moved into a place where a lot of people with not many resources are packed into some sort of, it looks like a camp, bro. It's like the projects. I got moved into the fucking projects. And then you realize that the more materialistic shit people have, the more it distracts them from what they really fucking have, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's the outro. Next video, I'm not gonna predict it, because only the universe can tell me what I should make that video about. So yeah, I'm just gonna let this one be. If you were able to make it this far, um, don't don't take my words as a grain of salt. I'm still a human, bro. I'm still learning. This is everything I've learned. I am a happy person. I am a person that is able to love. I am a person that is free to create. I am a person that is, I'm happy. And a happy person only wants happy people around them. And I'm noticing that the people around me aren't okay. And I want mindsets to change in the better for them. So yeah, all right. Peace.